Good morning, people. Welcome back to the channel. Vibes time. Let's talk about Liverpool. Let's talk about some of the players that apparently criticism means hate. I don't know where everyone's got that from. I'm here with Sav. I'm here with G. We're going to discuss because it's crazy, man. You can't criticize performances without it meaning hate. I do not get it. While, and I think it's only subjective to some players, not all, because I think other players get criticism, but everyone's kind of fine with that. No one says that's hate. But listen, man, let's get into it, bro. Nice and early, bro. I looked online, watched a couple of the guys' podcasts, and all I saw was Trent getting a lot of abuse and hate. Now, I get it. He's probably gonna swap the red shirt with the white shirt, and I hear it. Mo Salah as well, stunk the place up, getting criticism. But all I've seen is that means you hate the player. That means you hate the player. That means you hate the player. Maybe I'm stupid and I don't understand it. So chopping it up with a man them that I find very intelligent and big up to the chat. Maybe you guys can shed some light on it as well, because I don't know. Why can't you critique someone without it meaning you hate them? Who wants to hate the mic first, because it's mad.
Thanks for the alley-oop first, because we are intelligent. My IQ was 137 last time I checked, but that was about 6 years ago. It's borderline genius, but who's counting? And all of this is an unofficial statement, because obviously I'm not ranked in it, so I can't. I don't really have a say in these kind of things. But yeah, we didn't make the tier, but so we have to. It's a funny thing to me in the whole football space, and that what I will say straight off is there's a lot more people who support the players in a positive way than there is a negative way. A lot more people. This human thing where they can just only see the negative comments, and that is very strange, isn't it? People are going looking for it. That's why among a Salah photograph and something like that, there'll be bare people, oh my God, King Mo, bare crowns, Egyptian flags and that. Then there'll be one person, his performance stunk, and all of a sudden that guy is the villain. I don't know. Like, I think people have attached themselves personally to footballers, isn't it? I think that's what's happened. I think I said it to you before. They've made their personality the player. They've made their personality the football club. So anything that gets attacked in any way or even comes across like that, they go into like defense mode instantly. And then it's, what's your guy doing and what's this guy? And which is crazy, by the way, because when people say, what's your guy doing? Usually it's another Liverpool player. So to defend the player that you like, you're going to diss another Liverpool player when people can't seem to stick to one argument. I noticed this a lot when you guys were on stream the other day. I sat back and watched. I don't do Hassam streams, and it's sometimes I just log in when you are there. You don't have to be there though, because I can't be doing K-Mac on my own. And I was watching like you and Jerry speak, Jerry more than anything, and I was just listening like, how come every time he says something, their comeback is not still about Salah? The whole, like, even on the screen, even the way Hassam time coded it, it says Salah conversation, but in this conversation, every time you two said something, it went back to, but Hazard didn't do that. No, but they're not talking about Hazard, talking about Salah, bro. No, but Henry never done that. Where was he at for Salah's age? The fuck has that got to do with anything? We're just talking about man didn't perform, and they just said that he didn't perform. They didn't say he wasn't the best player anymore. They didn't say he was rubbish. You know what I mean? And then people have to do the extremist thing, and it goes, Salah basically carried our team, and that. Well, he doesn't play football on his own, and it's someone had to give him the ball. So yeah, he can say that he's been the best player or one of the best players. I think him and Virgil have been the most whatever, but they can't do it on their own. So it's not Salah FC, because that's stupid, bro. It's very strange that people do that. And I honestly, I don't know what it is, because when they start bringing up other players in our team, I always want to tell people that the reason why people are quote unquote, I think Jamie said it in the stream he was doing, is like, he contradicted himself first, because he said he came in on a righteous one, which made sense. Like, listen, I'm not going to get onto our players. You know what I mean? They've all done well this season and that. They just didn't get over the line and that, so we shouldn't cost them. I don't want to diss them personally. And then when they asked him about DIAZ, the first thing he said is, he's shit, and I'll take him to the airport myself. And I'm like, you just said there was none of no personal attacks, but you know what I mean? But he made sense at the beginning, but then he said, I feel like we need to let's move on from this because everyone's getting on Salah, but the other three are getting away with it. First of all, there's no getting away with it. Us fans saying stuff doesn't affect these players, so there's no getting away with it. And second of all, it's more of an indictment on those players that you're not talking about them. You're basically saying you're not even worthy talking about because we expect you to do rubbish or we don't expect that much of you. But you now have talked about Salah winning the Ballon d'Or, bro. So, and you're talking about him being possibly the best right winger in Premier League history. Not this season, not last season, in history, bro. Talking about it with the greats. So if you get put in there with the greats, we have to talk about you like you talk about the greats, innit? Because, for example, you don't get as mad at Robbo taking a shot and missing as you would at Jota doing it. Yeah. Because everyone's going to go, he's a defender. Even though as a footballer he should be able to get the ball on target, you're going to go, no, we have to rank him differently because he's a defender and he's a striker. It's his job to do that. And then if Jota doesn't clear a ball off the line, you're not going to get as mad as him as you would at Robbo. Because like, Robbo, you're a defender, that's your job. So, yeah, that's why people rank him amongst that, bro. And then you have to deal with what comes with it, bro. It doesn't have to be the end of the world that somebody said something negative, bro. Get over it, man. You know what I mean? Anyway. So.
No, listen, I can only agree with what you said, but that's the thing. I was just wondering when we have a subject and we're trying to stick to a conversation, it feels like it always gets pushed, and I'm always trying to draw people back in, and that's why sometimes I go quiet because I'm just like the conversation is now shifting, and I can't be asked to say like where are we going now? Let's rein it back in. Let's stay here. So when I saw it, I was just like, yeah, it's not that he's not good. He's the top level. And I always say my rating for him must be way higher than most people because my expectation surpasses what most people want from him. And I'm like, now I'm going to I'm going to have to bring down my expectation to match everyone else to get on the same page and the why certain things can be allowed and certain things can't be allowed. So I have to bring my expectation down. And I think that's what I'm going to have to do going forward with him. But they always go and let's blame the other guys. I'm like, yeah, they're not even good anyway. What's the point of wasting our argument with them? We know they're not good enough. But the one that we know is good enough, it doesn't mean that we allow you to get away with stuff. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. When you're world class, when you're top, your performances, we expect high level of performances. The other guys, we never put them in that category. No one's ever said Diaz is world class. Nunes is world class. Jota is world class. No one's ever even said these men are world class ever. So that's why when they do certain things, we're mad at them. We're like, just get rid of them because there's no point now. But the ones that we say are that, you're going to have a magnifying glass put over you. Like Virgil, if he has a bad game, look how quick people are ready to throw him under the bus, bro. Just one bad game. But we analyze the game and then we speak about it and then we let it go. And then we move on to the next game. But when there's a continuous performance drop, you're like, bro, my expectation is here, but you've dropped it down to here. We need to get it back up here. And as soon as you do that, you go, nah, he's not been good for 2 or 3 games. All of a sudden, it's like, nah, you hate him. And we don't hate him. We don't. We just want to critique some of your performances, bro. That's all it is. But next week, when you perform again, we'll be like, rah, that's him. He's back. Let's go again. But for some reason, we can't go game by game. And listen, everyone has their own opinions on players and how they want to rate them and rank them and whatever. But I always do it game by game. We've always done it game by game. We've never gone across the whole season. At the end of the season, however, we look across it and go, do you know what? My man was great here, dropped off here, but then great here. Across the whole season, fantastic. Should deserve to win this, this, and this. But for some reason, it's everyone else. And I don't know why. Maybe this is my understanding. Why do we, we're always just rating the whole season while the season is going along? That means you're never going to be in the wrong in a game because it's always like, well, you played poor here, but look how well he played here in these games. You're like, I get that, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about now. Yeah. Maybe my understanding needs to, fix up. G, what's your thoughts on this, bro?
I think it's probably a simple one, man. It's the stan culture, isn't it? It's like what they say about people who fuck with Drake, innit? Like, he can do no wrong. The reality is, no matter what he does, he could just do no wrong, innit? Like, or you'll find positives within the negative kind of thing, because this is a guy who's had over a decade-long run. In Salah's case, an 8-year run. To some people, to me, he's not really had an 8-year run. It's just been a good few seasons dotted around, but he's been very consistent throughout, the entire 8 years. Yeah. I think it's just honestly, bro. It's the stand culture, bro. It's that if you fuck with a player, that's it. I promise you, that's not changing, bro. Like, man cannot just you regardless of whether you're talking sense, whether you're whatever, bro. It doesn't matter. And I think when you've spoken about, obviously, this, if people don't listen, they won't get it, right? Because we've had these conversations, we've had back and forths about Salah on whatever, and even in those conversations, I actually think it was even a misunderstanding from both parties. And what I mean by that is that you've said it all along in terms of, say, like a Salah, and how you perceive him as a player, right? And then how you rate him, etc. And I've always said, always combated that, for example, right? And the reason I'm using us two is because we've always had that conversation with with Salah. So when Enz is talking about Salah people, and anybody, just like, but we'll use Enz just for today. When he's talking about Salah, it's because he's held him to this high esteem, but also the way that everybody else, the level that they hold him to, he's trying to hold everybody accountable in that same regard. So when he criticizes, he's not criticizing, as he said, like, oh, he's shit. No, it's nothing about that. It's, you put him here. So if you put him here as people, then you have to expect that on a more consistent basis than what we've seen in previous games, seasons, or whatever, right? When I've obviously spoken about him, and I think, I'll be real, I don't think many people look at it in that same way, is that know what Salah is. That's why you never hear me say, for example, and other people, by the way, not just me, but other people, you never ever hear me say, yeah, but I put him in the conversation with like the Henry. No, to me, he's not even close to that. You know what I mean? Like, because that's a different kind of individual in terms of what they've done in their careers and stuff like that. The consistency thing, that like when we're talking about great players, Ronaldo, Salah, Henry, Ronaldo, R9, you know, when you're talking about these kind of players, you see when people bring up stats, you know what pisses me off? Because you're talking about guys who also have stats. It's like, we're not debating between Jermaine Defoe and fucking Henry. Like, no disrespect to Jermaine Defoe, but there's a massive gap between Defoe and Henry in terms of the stats. So then we can start using stats as an example as to why this. But we're talking about guys who also have mad numbers as well. So when people throw up the stats and, yeah, he must do this, I'm like, no. Like, know what the play that you're talking about. If you hold Salah, Gakpo, Van Dijk, whoever in this regard, I promise you, when someone like an End, like a Savage, like a whoever, when they question you about this player because he's not performing to the level that you've set, that you yourself have set, you cannot be then trying to come back with this. Oh yeah, this is why I keep telling people, bro, stop putting Salah in these conversations, because when we have these conversations, it's now looking a bit shifty now.
Bro, you said it then, bro. Like, know what the person is, innit?
Yeah.
Know what the person is and rate them on that, bro. For example, you said this the other day, and with a lot of people have said it who saw DIAZ play before and knew. Man said, I said at the beginning of the season, the first couple games, everyone was, oh yes, and I said, well, one of my favorite Liverpool players, and nothing's changed with DIAZ. Like, it's exactly the same. Scored 2 goals. Like, nah, but he's on it this season. No, nothing's changed, bro. And then I heard G say the other day, he's never been the stat dude, bro. Wherever he's been, he's never been that guy. So what? So you think I'm out here ranking him on that? I'm ranking him on what I see on. Yeah, don't get me wrong. You still have to put your work in and deliver what you're doing. But I'm ranking him on, this is what I know you're supposed to do. I don't think you're world class. So that's what I'm gonna go with. It shouldn't be like that. It's not hate. People just have different styles that they like and stuff like that as well. And that's it, bro. But hate is a weird one, because when people say hate, they're saying like you're hating on them, bro. And I'm not, because Salah doesn't do anything that I want, bro. So I'm not hating on him. I'm not jealous of him, bro. You know what I mean? It's just that you just want more from the best players, isn't it? It's simple. You don't ask for the same as from Kwanzaa that you ask for Virgil.
No.
So Virgil gets done in a game and people start. I get it, because it's like I think he's the best player in the world. So if I've come out and said that, then obviously when man like, yo, man can't be the best player in the world and he's getting skin out like that, I'm like, yeah, I hear it still, but you know what I mean? And then the person then I can easily go, okay, but it's a one-off game, innit? I don't expect everyone to be perfect. But if there's a pattern of it, then that is what people are gonna see. It is what it is. I don't see the issue.
you know, like a big up. Obviously, Liz said I refuse to lower my expectations. You know, that's actually fine, by the way. Like, I'm more talking for. Obviously, I don't know. I've not heard you speak about Salah either or really, but let's just say you hold Salah in whatever regards, right, Liz? Yeah. If you hold him to a certain standard, right, and he doesn't meet that standard, you then have to understand why people will then criticize, i.e., hence the reason why he has received so much criticism in the last like week when we had Newcastle and PSG. Of course, he's gonna like he would have to hold criticism because he was so below the standard that you were like 5 levels below your own standard that some people have obviously set. So when people go extra hard on Salah, I'm like, well, yeah, like I never understood it. Like in my head, I kept thinking, like, why are people defending Salah and they're doing exactly what Enz just said at the beginning of the stream, which is why you keep mentioning the last 3 months. Man, I don't give a shit about the last 3 months. You see the last 3 months, that has nothing to do with today. He was shit today. He was shit in 3 games. In 3 games, Salah was shit. And guess what? Unfortunately for Salah, they were the most important 3 games. Because guess what? We got knocked out of 2 competitions because of those 3 games. So all of that scoring against Southampton and scoring, listen, that's all great. And as En said, when we're doing analysis on those games, brother, you rate him whatever you rate him, like high, look, whatever. That's fine. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the most important period of the season for Liverpool. Anyway, this season was those 3 games. Guess what? We fucked up in all of them. He wasn't the only one, but guess what? We're not talking about no one else. We're not talking about Van Dijk. We're not talking about DIAZ. We're talking about him, and that's what bugs me more. Do you get what I'm saying? Is that, as En said, and as Savage said, bro, like you keep them bring. I was like, bro, just focus on the one player for now, and then we will have time. Everyone knows, bro. We will sit here and talk about every player. That's fine, but let's just focus on the main guy because technically, you guys have put him in these best of all time conversations. So I'll be real. We're not talking about like a Ronaldo who doesn't even play in this league anymore and is like 40 years old. But we're talking about a guy who's still playing currently, and you've put him in these conversations. Guess what? If you put him in these conversations, we're gonna need to have a conversation.
Yeah, because you know it's the new one. The new one after the games, it's like if you even mention, I'm talking about you can be going through every player and then you get to Salah, and as soon as you're about to say anything, to go, yeah, come on, man, like stop going over the top. You can let him off for the one game, bro. Like he's carried the team all season. I'm like, bro, you man have said that 3 games in a row, so that means I just can't speak, bro.
Yeah, literally.
Because we don't, you know what I mean? If Virgil has a shit game, I'm still gonna, Virgil, you weren't good, bro. Like this was rubbish. You don't like how you did that. You stuck a lazy leg out and that. I don't man going, oh, come on, man, you crashing on him and that. He's carried the team, but this is the only reason why we, brother, allow it, man. Clearly, what En said and what G says, but bro, the reason why we're doing it on game by game because he's already cemented as a Liverpool legend, bro. It's not like a couple performances. If Salah has a whole bad season, it's not going to take away from his Liverpool legacy at that point. And the only time I ever mention stuff that's happened previously is when we're away from that game and there's a pattern building. And then when a pattern builds, then it's all of a sudden it's not form, is it? It's a real problem. Like this is a real thing that the person keeps doing. But apart from that, bro, it shouldn't be an issue.
Sorry. No.
No, I was gonna say, bro. Like, it's if it obviously comes up as a pattern, then I think that's where you'd have a broader conversation. But as I said, we've always done it game by game. We've literally always done it game by game, and that's why I think from going forward, I'm gonna just have to lower my expectations, bro. Because
don't do that. Don't do that.
What I've done, Sav. You see, when he first came in, because I told you from before, I wanted him before he moved to Chelsea. I wanted the guy before that, and we didn't get him vexed. As soon as we got him, I was so excited, so gassed. We got him in, and I've always held him at a high standard. Obviously, his first season, he did some remarkable things, the amount of goals, the way he was playing, and I've just held him there. I've gone, that's your standard. And even though when some season the goals weren't at 44 and it's dropped slightly, I've still gone, no, because I know he can get there. I know he can do this. He's got the ability to. But then when his performances drop, and I'm just like, I get it. If it's a one-off game, cool, but I would still critique it because that's what we do. We have to critique and we have to praise you. But then when it happens as a pattern, then I'm starting to see little flaws and I'm like, yeah, but I held you here, but I'm seeing these little flaws now. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just you're getting older. Maybe, I don't know, you're slowing down. Maybe you have to reinvent yourself and the way you play and blah, blah, blah. but I've always just kept him at such a high standard. And I don't make excuses for when he has bad games or when he goes missing, because my expectation is, bro, you want the big money, you want to be the Ballon d'Or guy, you want to be compared against the best. These are now the moments. Forget what you did in the past. These are the moments now where you really cement that Bon Henry, Bon Messi. You know what I mean? Bon these, man, when we're comparison. Bon Ronaldo when we're comparison about Premier League legends. And you know what I mean? Because those are the moments where people have the lasting memory.
Yeah.
No one will tell you how he did over his 8 years. They'll just tell you his GA. His GA. I can tell you performances where he absolutely bossed it for us. But then he goes missing in January when he comes back from AFCON sometimes. So I know these because I pay attention to what he does during the season. So no one's going to remember that, but it's the moments. He scored a goal in the Champions League final, we won. Moments there, that penalty against Spurs. Moments against Man City when he dropped out. What's his name? Cancelo with the spin. Buried that. Moments when Curtis Jones, one of the only assists I see him get, which weren't even an assist to be fair, laid it off to him and he dribbled the whole side, left, right hand side, buried it. The one against Spurs when he dropped man and then put it in the top corner. Like the moments that Mo does, yeah. And I'm not saying he doesn't have other moments, there's plenty more, but those are the things people remember. And then when they put you in the high esteem, they go, rah, do you know what? You remember this, or you remember that goal, or you remember this season when he did this. They don't remember the whole 8 years he's been here until you can see. So when we're in a final, we're in the for this season, when we're in the final, we're in against PSG, and I'm watching Dembele like cook and doing and dropping here and going here and receiving the ball. He didn't hide. But I saw my star man, the guy that I rate on the highest level, I was just like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah, I think the things that people big him up for can't be the same thing that you make an excuse for him for. It can't be the same thing, because there's a reason why you're bigging him up for it. So don't, when he's on smoke and you cuss out every other player and go, this man's in his 30s and he's cooking everyone and he's got this, safe. But that means when it goes wrong, don't mention that he's 30 then again. Don't mention it now, because now it's the excuse. Oh, come on, he's in his 30s. How do you expect him to? It's the same thing you just bigged him up for, though. So you can't use it both ways. And I think the bigger thing when it comes to the quote unquote what they call Salah hate isn't even in the games. It's all the other stuff online. But that's because it's a constant debate with other footballers in it. And then people don't like the answers. I'm telling you, bro, if you don't want to hear these answers, don't ask the dumb questions in it. Just rate Salah how you want to rate him. You can't take it away from him. If you feel he's the best player, nobody can't take it away from you.
No one can. Yeah.
So that's why when people get comments like, it doesn't matter what you say, I'm rating this guy over Salah. It doesn't matter what he does from this point on. That's because that person really believes that. And there's nothing wrong with it. But for some reason, when it comes to Salah, there isn't. It's funny that G mentioned Drake earlier, because I always said to Enz that Salah's Drake. I've always said that, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what Drake does. It's never going to be rated as the highest, as the best hip hop. It's never going to be rated like that. Don't care how much you sell. Don't care if you don't go away. It doesn't matter if you make the most money. You're never going to be rated as the biggest hip hop star. It's fine, bro. But the people who are Drake's fans will, and you can't take it away from them. So what's the issue? I think the issue now is if your opinions don't match up with anybody else's, it's hate. That's the new thing, isn't it? It's funny, I just seen ROMZ in the chat, man. I seen him getting slaughtered in the week. Man are telling him meet him in Luton and that blood for the chefings.
He said he's gonna jump on, but he said around 11:15. So.
No, bro, Roms, you better jump on with no camera, blood. Car that Luton man can't see me and your face together, blood. I'm not.
I'm trying to be associated with you, bro.
Yeah.
Taking a trip up to Luton one day and just randomly get in my back like.
Let me shout out the people them, and then I'll bring up that question you said, G. Big up to yourself, Zane, the Notorious, Red and White. Big up to you, man. Pops. Love for the always, man. Pops, if you're free and you want to come in a conversation, you already know, man. I lay in the building. Big up you guys, man. Who else have I missed? Anyone? Leroy in the building. I will get to that super chat, my bro, but love for the love. RTV, big up to yourself as well. Ash, big up. And obviously Roms. Herb, man. Big up, man.
John's from Luton.
Yeah, John's from Luton. Yeah, John's from Luton. Yeah.
Hey, was it John that sent that madness, bro?
John, man, you're not in good esteem up there. You, Andrew Tate, and Tommy Robson, you might want to get out of that place. But that's
mad for real. Andrew, big up. You never walk alone.
DT from there too.
Jaden, big up, lads. Big up, everyone. Obviously, Liz, love, man. I love that you're controlling in there with it. You know what I mean? Look after the chat for me, Liz. And big up to John as well. Where is the messy one that you want me to bring up, bro?
I'll send it.
I'll
It's a
find it.
template.
I'll find it. This one, Salah, Messi.
Okay.
No, they're not.
Let me even, because I was
Go on,
stewing
you
it.
go.
I was looking, and then I said, you know what? I'm not going to be obnoxious. I'm going to look at myself, right? Big up you'll never walk alone, by the way. It's not even remotely close, I promise you. Like Messi, I just checked now, in his Barcelona career, has had 6 seasons where he has scored 50 or more goals. I didn't even need to check the assists, because
I was gonna say, I don't know what you checked. Anything you know, blood?
No, but I just wanted to see how many seasons it was. That was
Big up ROMZ, bro.
Big up.
I don't know this wrong.
When we're saying when we're saying Salah has Messi-like numbers, I'm like, dude, like Messi, like I just said these are 50 plus goals, not 60. He's had 6 seasons where he's had 50 plus goals, and I think he's had 3 seasons where he's had 60 plus, and that's just goals. I already know in all of those seasons he's got a minimum of 10 assists, and I'm just going to use 10 as a base minimum. So we're talking about a guy who for 6 seasons minimum is getting you about 60 odd GA. So when we say Salah's numbers are even that, for this season, like he might be able to hit a 60 GA. I don't know what he's going to end up with. I doubt it, but I don't know what he's on at this current moment in time. But when we're saying Salah's Messi-like numbers, this has only happened once. I think, in his first season, actually. In his first season when he got 40-something goals. I don't know how many assists he got in that thing. They're not even remotely, like Salah would never and could never hit those type of numbers consistently anyway, because he's so far from being that type of player. And it's not because Salah's dead. Salah in his own right is a fantastic player. But you see Messi, yeah, when we start talking about my favorite player now I'm going to be biased, because now it's like Salah's my favorite player. Salah's my favorite Liverpool player. Everyone already knows. But you see that level is like Salah would dream to be of that type of player, like every other football player who's playing football right now. But you see, when we're talking about him having the same type of numbers, trust me when I tell you, he does not. Like, this brother was scoring 90-something goals in a calendar year. Salah will have to do that across like 2 or 3 years, like to even hit them kind of numbers. Like, that's like Messi. Well, I'm not even gonna. It's too
Before
early.
Rums jump in, bro, guys, you already know what time it is, man. Guys, jump over onto YouTube if you want to continue to watch the stream, man. Because I can't wait to hear what Rums has to say. Man's had beef on Twitter all week. Last week, I see man grilling him in chats I've been in. I'm just like, raw. I thought I got a lot of hate most times, but
do you know what it ends though? Where we're from, we can take it, bro. The next man would have folded. I know what I was coming into this game for. But first of all, big up Savage, big up Ends, big up G's. It's been a while since I've been on it. Big up everyone in the chat as well. But I was obviously just on the call, and I had you lot in the background, right? And I was like, no, I need to jump, because I feel like this is relative to what's gone on the last week or 2, innit? I was like, I need to jump in and have my say. What I don't like, G will tell you, like Salah, cool. I respect what he's done. People think I don't, and people think I hate him. I respect what he's done, bro. He's given us some of the best games, numbers, trophies, etc. But my thing is, and this isn't even age relative, right? In the league, I've never had a problem with him. The numbers speak for itself. He's been consistent year in, year out. Even in bad seasons where we were down to no centre-backs, or we had a midfield where we just needed a mad exodus and the midfield let us down. I think the year we finished 5th, he will still be putting up his numbers. My thing is, and don't get it twisted, there's been performances that I'm not going to be ignorant. He's put in good performances even without numbers as well. Even if it's not amounted to the result we specifically wanted. But let's be honest, predominantly what we know Salah for is his numbers. So in finals, and we can't even use the 30 plus excuse, because even when he was 25 and 26, if we're keeping it a buck, there's 3 finals I'll exclude, right? The final where Ramos did the mad thing to his shoulder. I'm not that much of a prick, bro. Like, I think he come off after 20 minutes in it. So I'm not going to include that one. The one where Vinny scored, he was actually cold. Like, I watched that thinking, him and Mane were cold that final. So that's where I give him his This is the thing. When people have an agenda, right, they'll just focus on what what suits their narrative. They'll ignore when I praise him and whatnot, because I don't hate this guy at all. Like, I even saw something on Twitter the other day, like, it's always these blacks that hate Arabs. Hold on, I like Eight Nori, I like Ziyech,
I like Mahrez, I like all of these.
It's like, what are you do you think what you're saying right now? But my thing is, what we predominantly known for is his numbers. So even in finals where I'm not even expecting performances like that from Salah, especially at this time of his career, just get the numbers, just put your name in them headlights. But what I've known you for, you're not even doing that in one-off games which have a trophy at the end of it. That was my problem, because performance weren't good, but we know you for numbers. So you're now not even doing that to get the performances. You're now not even doing that in finals. And some people say, oh, what do you expect him to do? He can't dribble past X, Y, Z. He's 30 plus. Hold on. Club World Cup final when Mane and Firmino won that for us. Super Cup final when Mane scored a brace for us. I remember when we won the domestic double, he played both games, didn't do nothing. These are games where he was 27, 28. So it's not like this is the current thing. Do you know what I mean? He's been doing this. And after the Newcastle game, I just kind of snapped. Maybe I should have worded it better, because I mainly meant finals, which I probably should have specified in the tweet. I didn't mean league. I can't say anything about him in the league. Man's having an unprecedented the season he's having now, we've never seen. And for like, if you hate someone like this, you're not going to admit these things. The season he's having now, we have never seen. From Henry, from Ronaldo, name any great you want. From Shearer, we've not seen this season. So I'll give him his credit there. But I'm kind of sick and tired where a lot of the majority of our families, and Savage was saying it earlier, if you hold him to best player in the world, Ballon d'Or shouts and that, he's now got to be doing it in these finals, because the spotlight's now on him, because man is saying, hold on, why are you just looking at him and not looking at Diaz and Jota and that? But we're not calling them the best player in the world. Do you know what I mean? We're not calling them. So heavy is the head that wears the crown, no pun intended, because we call him the Egyptian king, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. So if he's not putting up in these finals, of course I'm gonna have a problem with it. And that's the thing in life, yeah. If you already know what someone is, you know the saying, you can't be disappointed. You can't be disappointed if you didn't expect it in the first place. I might have worded it wrong, right? So listen, G was saying Salah's his favorite player. Jota's my favorite player, but I can accept he's done now. Probably have to send him. You have to admit things. But Jota, Diaz and that, they've been poor for the most part of the season. Diaz has a purple patch and everyone kind of goes mad. But I've always said I need to see 6 months consistently before I start giving a man his flowers, because we've seen this throughout his career. Yeah, there's unforeseen circumstances. His dad, and I remember he got the mad injury at Emirates as well. For me, that's when it was done. He's became apprehensive and not really wanting to take on his player, and that was the biggest part of his game. Jota, do you know the irony about Jota, right? I've said this, and I think a lot of the families have, if he stays fit, we have a greater chance of winning the league. The irony is he stayed fit predominantly this season, and we're still winning the league. But that's what I think is just time for him. His time might be up. But we don't call the other forwards the best. The fact that majority of this families call Salah the best, you have to hold him at that regard. And the fact he wasn't doing it in final, it just annoyed me. Obviously, other stuff spiraled out, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a prick. I'm a wind-up merchant. I've been at this in school. I then was prodding the bet. I was doing extra tweets to piss off the masses. It's only because I can take it. Do you know what I mean? But it's just a thing where maybe I shouldn't have done that. But I know I'm like. But the whole Salah thing, I mainly wanted to come on here and say, I can't hate a guy. I don't hate anything in life, period. Like, I don't know him to hate him. Do you know what I mean? I don't hate him at all. But it's just that I just get frustrated where this is a repetitive thing now. Like, the irony is the final he performed in, and actually I have to include the Spurs final as well, because I hate this notion he only scored a penalty. You can miss penalties, you know. We've seen the best miss penalties. And the fact that it was an opening penalty, the pressure was high, like within the first 5 minutes of the game. So I never really mentioned the 2019 Champions League final, but there's about 4 or 5 other finals where the performance weren't there and the numbers weren't there. So that's my only thing with him. If you lot are gonna hold him in this high regard, you have to criticize him in these finals. It's that because he's done this in the league, we can give him a blind in the cups. They're two different things. They don't go hand in hand. That was my thing. But I don't hate Salah, bro. I don't hate Salah at all. He's just, when it comes to football, he's not my type of player. But I can still respect what he's done for the club I love. Do you get it? But people get misconstrued. And like I said, if someone paints you in a certain light, even if you praise them and whatnot, they're going to completely ignore that. They need to keep their agenda running. So they're going to ignore the adulation, the praise you give for that certain individual, because G will even tell you, yeah, I'm not his biggest fan, but when I need to praise Salah, I will praise Salah. Like, I'll be like, no, big him up, because the game was on a nice edge and he just scored out of nothing, assisted out of nothing, won us the game. Because he has won. If we're keeping it a buck here, Van Dijk and Konate, great centre-back partnership for the most part. Gravenberch is having a season we've not seen. McAllister for me has been one of our better midfielders. Gakpo saved us as well, but it is predominantly on Salah. I'm not an idiot. Like, without him, I read some stat the other day. Without him and his goals, and that, I think we'll be floating around 13th or 14th. It was something mad. So yeah, that's all it is. I don't hate the guy at all. Like, I don't know him to hate him. I just feel that some people they put him to this standard, and when he's not reaching the standard, they just want to blame other players. Like, hold on, you put him there. Like, you're kind of the architect of your own downfall. You've then put him in these lights, and now he's not living up to it. It's like, yeah, let's just scapegoat another player. No, we're gonna look at your player first, because you're putting him in these conversations. That's all.
I can show you where the bias lies as well, slightly, right, in the conversation, right? Let's use Virgil van Dijk for an example.
Yeah.
He's as important to our club as like a Salah. Some would say probably even more important, right? In terms of like what he's done to kind of solidify our team defensively. If Virgil has a bad game, right, people are cool just critiquing him, but it never comes out and anyone backs goes, nah, you just hate Virgil.
It's true.
Hold your hand up. Have you, man, ever heard that? Be honest in the chat, guys. Have you ever heard when Virgil has a bad game and then people are like, nah, Virgil was poor today, he did this, man was sliding. Did you hear everyone jump to his defense going, nah, you, man, hate Virgil? Never, bro.
Never.
So it shows that there's a bias in your preference to the players, bro. And that's fine, because everyone has their own preference in terms of their type of player that they like in the team. But if you want to be open and honest and you want to be non-biased and don't contradict yourself, you have to keep the same energy. When we critique Virgil, no one's ever had an issue when we've done ranking, me, G, Sav, and whoever else has been on the channel, and we're like, yeah, Virgil was dead today, man. It was his fault. He stuck a leg in, lazy.
He's the best player to me, and I always criticize him when he does something shit.
No one ever in the chat goes,
you can do something shit and still have it. You can still go on and play the rest of the game, a great game, but sometimes he sticks out the lazy leg and all that, and I'm like, brother, what are you doing? Yeah, it's just one of those, man.
Sorry.
No, because I was just going to say, I'm not calling out this person, but I saw the comment, Lifu, and they mentioned the Henry thing again is like, well, Henry didn't score. My brother, we're not. This is my point. What has Henry got to do with Salah, bro? You the fans make it Henry to do with Salah. The fans make Hazard to do with Salah, and then you don't like the result after, bro. Like, just leave it. Salah's in his own right. Just leave it on his own, bro. Like, I don't get it, man. It's very crazy to do that.
You know what I was thinking about while you were saying about Van Dijk, yeah. It's like I said on Hussam show. You see, when I come on later, with Salah, this is what I said about the whole Ballon d'Or thing. There isn't a general consensus that Salah, amongst everybody, so whether it's Liverpool fans and rival fans, there's no general consensus that this player is the best in whatever category you want to put him in, outside of, I know everyone's joking about, but what Cam said, being the greatest stat man of all time. Outside of that, there isn't a general consensus that this player is the best. So that's why I feel like with Salah, you always get this, like, bare people defend him, and then you get some people on the other side who go too far with the criticism. With Virgil, there is a general consensus that this guy is the best, whether it's in this era and he gets put into the other eras. Heck, man, are talking about him with Beckenbauer and them type of thing, because there's a general consensus. So man can't really argue. Yes, by the way, before anyone says it, yes, I know there's going to be some people who disagree and say he's not the best. That's fine. What I'm saying is the general consensus will say, nah, Virgil's the best. Like, and there's not really a debate, really. The debate starts to come with, like, you start entering like other people, but then it kind of quickly gets washed over. With Salah, there's no general consensus. And again, it goes back to what En said earlier on, which is, how are you rating this player? Are you just rating the player as like the greatest stat man of all time? Or are you rating the player like, no, he's on like an Henri level because he did all of these magical things and he scored all of these goals. If you're rating him like that, when people like ROMZ, like a Savage, like a Enz, whoever, when they then criticize him in the big moments, you can't be mad at that because you're rating him like he is the best at whatever category you've put him in. That's why when we talk about Van Dijk, no, like Savage said, I've heard Savage get on to Virgil.
I was cooking.
But the reality is, we all can sit here now, all four of us, and all of you in the chat. You probably would say, "Nah, Virgil's probably the best centre back." For some of you who are young, you probably say he's the best centre back I've ever seen in my life, and no one's going to argue with you. But you see with Salah, because there's no general consensus, because it comes down to preference. Virgil, there's no preference. Like, we've seen every type of defender. There was Rio before Virgil. They're the same type of defender. It just depends on what you like. They do the same similar kind of thing. We've seen a ball playing centre back. We've seen a guy who's been dominant. We've seen guys who are tough tacklers. We've seen all of it. With Salah, we've seen all of it. We've seen a guy who gets bare goals, but he's doing it obviously, quite consistently and etc. But there's no general consensus. Why? Because it's how you people are rating the guy. So now when you're putting him into big boy conversations, when he doesn't perform, bro, like, man's gonna get onto him, and when he gets onto him, that's just what it is. Whereas Virgil, I'm not saying Virgil was great, by the way, in these games against Thing, but guess what? There's a general consensus, probably he's the best anyway. So I'm not, it's like you feel secure in yourself. Whereas I feel like some Salah fans are so insecure with Salah because they don't really believe what they're saying about the player. So now it's like, well, you're attacking me. As Savage said, it's like personal attacks. It's like, bro, like, just said Salah's been shit and he's been stinky in the final. That's a fact. But guess what? I don't put him in these conversations. And I rate Salah. I rate Salah the exact same way I rate Erling Haaland. I rate them exactly the same. Do you know why? Because you see, if I need a goal, brother, I'm calling these guys. But you see, if I want to watch football, I ain't calling them, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would never call these guys. They're ugly to watch. You know what I'm saying? But we understand that if I need a goal, like Curtis Jones said, hence why when everyone got into Curtis Jones, I was like, but he's telling the truth though of the actual player, which is, if you're trying to watch football and you had a choice between Hazard and Salah, which, by the way, as Savage said, you guys are bringing into the conversation. So that TNT Sport, whoever it was, brought him into the convo. When he's talking about it, who the fuck wants to watch fucking Salah over Hazard? Brother, I've seen Hazard got the ball from the halfway line and score.
Yeah, that's what happened, bro. That's why that's why the conversations end up like that. People keep bringing them in. That's why Sky Sports have started to find out what else content creators are doing and copy it, bro. That's why they had Boovy and Stumpeg on there talking about Cristiano Ronaldo versus Salah in the week. Bro.
Oh, bro,
just making it work. So I'm just watching it like, I didn't really want to get involved in this, bro. Because my answer's obviously going to be Ronaldo, but just stop, innit? Stop making it worse for yourself. And for the fans who love Salah, which it sounds crazy because I do love Salah, and he's just not my favorite footballer. But for you, man, bro, you lot are insecure, bro. That's why you keep making up stats to make everything sound better, bro. Bringing other players into it, and all of a sudden this season we're talking about percentages. 75% Liverpool. We've never done that before, bro. You're making up stuff to make yourself feel better, bro. Believe in yourself, and you pussy holes, bro.
Now, you see that comment he said about that comment he said, ROMZ, when he said about like his stats, if he took his goals away, where would be 13? It's crazy because when you add context, you're like, what if we did that to every team in the league? Where would then it happen? Because I guarantee you, Liverpool ain't going to be staying 13th. If we did that to every other team, we take Chris Wood goals away from them. You take Isak goals away from Newcastle. You take Saka's 10 assists and whatever before he got injured, and Kai, you know what I mean? Just take these man goals away from them. Take Haaland's goals away from him. Take all of these guys that are sitting up there in the goal scoring rank. Take their goals away and see where they end up.
Exactly. It's crazy, bro. It's honestly
crazy.
Hold
on, this pussy all in the chat's got a pig profile picture talking about me. Relax yourself, man. Relax yourself, man. Man ain't insecure, bro, and that ain't definitely the two people that I'm insecure about, bro. So relax, bro. You get me? It was clearly an example at the beginning of the show, and I even started it. Man, no, I don't like Jamie. You get me? But I started it by saying he was right, bro.
Yeah, he did.
So stop the foolishness and came back. Knows I like him. I just don't like his shit football opinions, bro. But it's fine. He knows, bro. He knows. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a pussy. I said this to man's face, bro. So relax yourself.
I think what obviously people watching contextual wise, they don't understand. We know each other. So
I don't give a damn about each other. Man's got a pig profile picture, blood. That conversation stops there.
Is that what that is? I couldn't really see it.
It's called Notorious PIG, blood.
No, but I couldn't see the picture. Okay, yeah, I see it.
Lucho. All right, let's change the conversation slightly then, lads. Apparently, these men don't get enough hate or criticism, so we're gonna critique them now. We're gonna have a conversation. So I've got Lucho. We all agree, I would say, his time is gonna probably be up, even though we like his football. I think his time's gonna be up. He's not, in terms of the goal contribution stuff, I think he's not offering that at the moment. There's some games where he goes missing as well. He tries hard. That's all I can say. He does try hard when he's in the game, but that's it, bro.
Do you know my frustration with Diaz? Yeah, for his ability, I just think he's not doing, and he can do so much more. That's my frustration with him. I feel like with the ability he has, he should be doing so much more, because that first 6-month period, I've always said, I think he was the catalyst for us going within 2 games of. I never thought we'll do the quad, but he was the catalyst for us going within 2 games of potentially winning all 4 competitions. I think he gave us a new lease of life. Let's be honest. Mane's days on the left died to the point where he basically said, "What? I'm coming in. Pause. But I'm coming in the team. You're getting shifted in the middle, bro." Like, and he literally, you know, when they say, you know, when we've all kicked ball, when I don't know, your team might have signed a new player. The coach said, "Oh, we've got a new guy joining and whatnot. Don't let him take your shirt." You seen that meme where the guy just gets a shirt and rips it off? That's what Diaz did to Mane. And that first 6 months, bro, my favorite art of football is dribbling, innit? So my favorite ballers will be a Hazard, a Neymar, a Messi, or an Ronaldinho. When I'm seeing him coming in the team and just getting past every player, and I think his debut goal, he dinks it over the keeper, and I'm like,
when man nearly broke his chest plate, bro. The keeper nearly broke his whole chest plate in that game.
Broke his whole chest plate,
I put my hand in my head because I'm like, I saw the first couple of minutes and I'm like, yo, this brother is cold. Then the keeper, I'm like, oh, he's injured for the whole season. That's what my first thought. He's gone. He's dead for the whole season now.
Bro, big up Saint. Me and Saint did a watch along, and we were going, man, was like, bro, for me, it was different because it's like, no pun intended, it meant more. We've actually signed my type of baller, because let's be honest, we don't, over the years, we'll sign one once in a blue moon, but we don't really sign Mavericks. We're not, it's more workhorses than most positions. I was like, this guy's going to be cold. That 6 months, Champions League, Prem. Bro, fullbacks were fearing him. Then the unfortunate circumstances, I think early at the start of the next season, he gets the injury at Thomas Partey. Does him, innit? And I just think since then, I can't lie. The dad thing is unfortunate. I remember our fans are trying to use that excuse 6 months down the line. Like, bro, the dad's safe now. Like, we can't keep using that excuse.
Don't use that the game dancing in them, brother. You ain't. You're good. Man. You're good.
Don't use that the game dancing. Take a picture with fans, and man is still excusing his performances. He still might not all be there with his dad. His dad's even calm. So why his
dad acted like nothing happened, like he didn't get kidnapped.
His dad became an influencer off the back of that, blood.
Bro, it was mad.
You know what made it worse?
Oh, he's an influencer now, then.
He's right. Man, I've seen him shaking himself and talking about hit the QR code and that, blood, on the train with Gaz.
Man, do you want to know what makes it worse? Do you want to know what makes it worse, yeah? Diaz was putting in underwhelming performances. His dad is speaking about a move to Barca, saying that's my son's dream. And man are still excusing the performances, saying his mentality might still not be there because of his dad. Was like, his dad even forcing a move, and this is the man you're still backing. For me, it was absurd, bro. But after the dad excuse, and then I just feel he's become apprehensive. Do you know how much times I see him stand up his man and not really want to go? And don't get twisted. If it's like a Jed Spence or like a fullback that can go both ways, then I kind of get it. But then sometimes it'll be a slow fullback where it's like, Diaz, you have the beating of this fullback, bro, and you're not getting past him. So for me, I just feel with him, we've never really seen a consistent, like a season, like a body of work where we can say, you actually perform from start to finish that one season. It's always been 3 months here and maybe a month or 2 off. But I don't know if Diaz, I'm not going to sit and say he's a bad player. I still think he's a good player, but do I ever think he's going to reach that? That's my only reason for selling him. I don't think he's ever going to reach the heights he should have at Liverpool. He could go elsewhere where the league's a bit slower and it's not as high octane as the Premier League, and he'll probably cook. But here, Nah, I come to this conclusion maybe a year, 18 months ago. I don't know if he's going to hit these heights. And some people might say it's unfair. Look, he's 28, 27,
Yeah.
28.
It's not unfair.
It's not unfair, bro, but he's entering his peak. That if anything, he should be playing the best football now. And it's like you have 2 quality games and 3 bad ones, but we're going to lap up the 2 that we saw that were good. It's crazy. But man, I've been seeing a rumor reel that apparently he's looking to extend now. So I don't even know if we're going to sell him.
He'll go Barca, man. He'll go Barca.
Fair. And apparently their stadium's paid off now, so they actually have the. Do you ever think, when people say Real Madrid and Barca have money, shut up, man. The 2 biggest clubs in the world.
Just lie, innit? And until they start bidding for your players, bro, you're like, bro, they got money, bro.
Nah, but you know, Barca fans with your sports watching, but I told you a lot about trafficking them kids from the last year. Yeah, I told you a lot about that, bro. Nah, bro. Telling you, man.
Where did your money come from, Savage?
Talk to me about your club with the child trafficking.
No, I'm asking you, where do you think the money comes from? Hear what I'm saying? Where is your money coming from Real Madrid?
No one knows where Madrid money comes from, but we know where it comes from.
The players are all cheap, bro. What are you talking about?
Cool.
Okay.
Bellingham's the most expensive player in the team.
Okay.
Yeah, me. Mbappe was free.
All right.
We're not talking about wages, but hey. We're not talking about his wages. He's free, blood.
Yeah, no one's speaking about his wages. He's free.
That's why he got a signing on.
Brother, that's not what you asked, isn't it, bro? You know what I mean?
You know what, Savage? Do your thing.
One thing. How come all the was moving to Szoboszlai, bro?
I'll come to that, Sava. Don't worry, I got that. I'll cover that. But what about Trent? I want to cover Trent as well, bro. Like, he's getting a lot of hate right now as well, because obviously word on the streets, blood, Fabrizio today confirmed it, slightly confirmed, added it to his story, and that Trent is going to Real Madrid. All I've seen is this man getting thrown under the bus, bro, this morning and yesterday.
It's hate again.
And you're disrespectful still.
Why am I disrespectful?
Yeah, one thing, but I didn't tell you yesterday that it was confirmed, but when I said it, it's fine. You know what I mean? But for Rick, you have to wait.
I agreed with you when you said it yesterday.
I'm just saying, I told you, bro. You get me? I told you, blood. Certain man was getting the fade, and he said that. Yeah, but it's fine, bro. It's fine.
I agree with you. I got Trent still.
Do you know what it is? I don't know you lot's viewing this, but I'm like G will tell you. I accepted this in September. Like, the way I saw it is, you can look at it both ways. It could be gross negligence from the club because we shouldn't have allowed it to get here. Some people say once Klopp left, then Schmatko's leaving, there weren't really a sporting director in place to get the contract done. But the way I see it, won everything by age 20, 21, been at the club his whole life. I don't even want to be rude here, but people that are gonna begrudge Trent for going to Real Madrid, the biggest club, I just feel like they haven't really had that big change in their own personal life yet. Because the way I see it, right, that's savage. Don't laugh because I'm making it sound worse.
My Ron's called everyone scrubs, blood, said you unambitious pricks, blood.
No, that's what I'm saying at all. But like, I want him to stay, bro. It's gonna be annoying seeing him in a Madrid shirt. But do I understand? Of course, bro. How many times have we heard football say that's the pinnacle? Normally, it's more associated with South American kids. Like, our South American kid, what do you want to play for? They're saying Barcelona, Madrid, innit? Most English players, I think that loyalty thing's done. Though, you no longer you get the players that stay to the club right towards the end, right? But I just feel with Trent, he's achieved everything that is. Listen, the signing on fee I'm hearing he's quoted to get. Let's speak about signing on fees. Apparently, it's like 50 million in this handle, which is, bro. If a man offered any of us 50 million to go to a football team, boy, like, I don't want to speak for you three, but
brother, if you offer me 50 million to tell you, like, yeah, I think Enzo's channel is shit, brother, I'm going.
Yeah, I'll take it. 100%. I'll say the same
that you've ever seen on YouTube. Bro.
Yeah, I'll do the same to my own channel. I'll be like, yeah, bun these, man, bro.
Bun these, man.
But do you know what? Like, we're not scousing it, but from a scouse perspective, they're seeing it as that, you owe us loyalty. There's certain values you need to uphold from the city. And I get that. They're gonna feel more aggrieved because they're literally seeing it as one of their own. But I'm seeing it more from an ambition standpoint. Even our club, if you're Trent, you're looking at it like, hold on, free up. Actually, let me chuck Kanate and Allison into this because people just like to forget about that. From this summer, they both got a year left. I'm right in saying. Konate and Alisson. But I think we'll all agree right now, 3 world-class players, Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent. 3 out of the 4 of them have months left. He's looking at, hold on, you want me to believe there's this club's ambitious when you're letting basically your 5 best players run down to the last year, to the last months of their contract. When I can go to a team where I'm guaranteed, and it's not even just guaranteed trophies, it's guaranteed the big trophies pretty much year in, year out, with a wage, better weather, your brethren's out there. I think people forget that his brethren's out there, and it's not even like it's any old brethren that, you know, that footballer that you'll see here and there, that they speak. You see them in England camp. It's the first person he goes to in that. I can't lie. I understand why he's doing it. Am I going to be one of them man that when I burn his shirt or whatnot? No, like, I've got other things to worry about. You know what I mean? But, bro.
You know how much I spent on the shirt to burn the shirt? That's crazy, bro.
Bro, man already doing it, G. I've seen a few videos already. Man are already burning the shirt.
The madness, bro. What does, you're right in terms of the ambition part, yeah. Like the club ain't showing that. If you're letting the 3 run down and the other 2 run down.
They ain't showing it as well. That's what he said. Rom said the fans ain't showing ambition as well. So they ain't had nothing big in their life. That's what he said.
You make things sense.
What could the club do to show ambition then? That's my question. What would the club have to show him? For an example, say he's like there, but he's not at Madrid yet. He's just probably going, I'll give you, man, 1 more chance, bro, to get this right. What do you guys think the club would have to do to show him that?
Sign up Virgil, sign up Salah, sign Ishak, and maybe another attacker, bro. He needs to look like where he can go in it. He needs to be on that level of stuff, bro. You probably thought when we didn't you see when Cravel was available, we just let him go to PSG. That was probably the last straw.
Man, fuck these bitches, man. I ain't trying to stay here. Nah, but I'll be real. I don't think bro. So Rom just said, bro, it's Real Madrid. Like, you ain't buying any collective or players that are going to make you think that you're going to be somewhat better than Real Madrid at any point in time. Like, he's 26. Like, he's reached a point where, and maybe it's actually unfortunate that he actually won everything so young because there's no hunger to really continue doing that at Liverpool. Whereas, you know, like, obviously, like with Gerrard, he's still got, I need to win that Premier League. Like there is actually something to actually fight for. Whereas he's won everything. He's about to win his 2nd Premier League. He's won a Champions League. He won every other competition. The reality is, what more can I do here at this football club outside of being a Scouser and cementing a legacy? How about I want to cement a legacy in football? Does anyone even think about that? Like, I want to be a legend, or I want to be someone great in football, not just for. Look at David Beckham. David Beckham will tell you who loved Manchester. I watched his documentary. He loves Manchester United.
He went everywhere.
That brand is so different that you don't even know. Like PSG, AC Milan, Real Madrid, Manchester United. Bro, that is way bigger than you.
He even changed the MLS on his own. He changed the MLS with going there.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot MLS as well. Bro, like, you're talking about a guy who loves a football club, but decided, I want to leave a legacy in football. Now, I'm not saying that my man Trent has to go and marry a Spice or someone like that. I'm not saying that because he ain't going to probably do that. But what I am saying is that he might just want to be a legend in football.
You get me? On the surfboard.
I finally saw. Hey, take
glistening one, you know, little glistening brand. You know what I mean?
Can I ask another question then, lad? I think we spoke about this maybe months ago, though, when we was talking about the ambition part. We was talking about legacy and stuff like that.
Can I just quickly chime in on something?
Go on,
Savage said, yeah. Do you know what's unfortunate? We're all gonna laugh now because it's like with Liverpool, we can't have too many nice things at once. You know how you said tie down Salah and Van Dijk? Do you know what FSG will say? Yeah, we've tied them down. There's no money now to sign any other place. It will just be them. It will just be them. So yeah, Trent will be like, all right, cool, you signed them too, but is there any additions? I mean, what's going on? It's like, we'll sign no additions, but now we'll have to sell 2 or 3 players that are already at the club, and then to get them.
He's like, so what? Make us weaker again? Then that what you did? No, but my question to you guys is, man. I hear the legacy part. I hear it. I'm thinking about now in terms of when he then finishes the game, will he care more about the legacy he built going somewhere else, or will he care about the legacy that he didn't build I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying that could be the thing where the city itself then wash him aside and go, bun you. Do you think he'll care about that, or do you think he'll be more happy that he's built, like went to Real Madrid and maybe a new brand he does or whatever, and he just builds his own little franchise and do his own thing? Or do you think the not getting that love in his city, that legacy, that lasting legacy in his city where he would be loved forever, do you think he'll care about that, or he'll just?
I think he'll be fine. And I also think that the fans will be worse about Trent if Liverpool are rubbish. So if Trent leaves this season, the next season we're terrible, and we stop winning stuff, and that it'll be worse on Trent, innit? Because at the time with Gerrard, it's like if you leave, you're leaving us in the lurch, bro. Like we're screwed, innit? Like you're the guy. With Trent, it'll be a little bit different, and I think the world's a little bit different now as well. I mean, the world accepts snitches now, bro. You get me? So I don't think the 6ix9ine was running around doing his thing. I don't think Trent is going to be a problem. I think sorry, Scousers and that, bro. But the slave master thing's done, bro. You can't just hold up Trent. Let him free, blood. Let him run the fields and that without picking cotton, like that. He'll be back, bro. Nah, man. You gotta let Trent fly his wings, man. Like that, blood. You lot said Bradley was better anyway, so it's not a problem.
That's true, I never understood that. But do you know what it is? The way I see it, ends, I'm again another life lesson. Time's the biggest healer, bro. You think man are gonna care? I don't think people care now how they do in the next 5-10 years, bro. Like I must have heard something the other day. If he comes back to Liverpool, would he be able to visit his cousins and his relatives in that? Of course he would. This ain't like a Gerrard situation where he was going to a direct rival within the country. This move makes sense because you've seen it happen before. McManaman, Owen, yeah. And you'll get some scouts saying, "Oh, but look how that turned out for them." Like apparently McManaman didn't get the same love in Madrid. Well, you wouldn't. You're not really from there. You're not one of them. But he's not looking at it from that perspective. He's looking at it. I did it for my CV. I did it for the trophies I can win. And bro, like they say they don't really love him and whatnot, but a goal in the Champions League final and winning stuff for them and whatnot. I think if you ask, it depends what Madrid fans you're asking. If you ask a lot of them, they'll probably still appreciate him. Let's say Trent scores a free kick in a Champions League final now or a banging assist. Bro, he'll be in folklore over there, but it's not like a Gerrard situation where, for me, where I would feel a bit more aggrieved if he was to leave and go to someone within this country, because that's when I'm like, this don't make sense because
don't make sense.
There and thereabouts. Do you know what I mean? That won't make sense. But you're going to the pinnacle. Barcelona Madrid, for me, Barcelona Madrid makes sense. If he went to like a Bayern or somewhere where I still think we're kind of on par with them teams, if you're going to go from a historic standpoint. But at Trent, that's kind of a sideways move. But Barcelona Madrid, you just have to say how it is. It is maybe not Barca right now, but it's kind of an upwards. It's kind of, I just need a comment. It's kind of an upwards move. But I reckon, all right, cool. Let me give you this situation here. And I don't know if you don't agree with this. Let's say, I see someone in the chat say it. Let's say Trent goes there and just cleans up. I'm talking with it. He'll probably sign a 4 or 5 year deal. Let's say a couple Champions Leagues, couple league titles, which is very likely, by the way. And he wants to come back. And look, he's still got the ability. He would be about 29. Well, you said he's 26 now. He'll be about 30, 31, right? And we already know defenders and centre backs and keepers, they have more longevity in their careers. And he wants to come back to the club. Remember, Owen wanted to come back to the club. We just didn't want him. But we're kind of stubborn. We're kind of like stubborn like that, bro. You left. Once you leave, you're never coming back. We've always kind of been that type of club. But let's say if he now wants to come back and win more with us, and he's still playing at a decent level where we're looking at him and we're still saying, you know what, you're still one of the best fullbacks about. Or by that time, maybe Real Madrid have reformed him and played him in the midfield, and then he kind of wants to play that role. What are you lot then saying then? Like if he wanted to come back in a different way?
No. Not going to come back, bro. You can come back calm, isn't it? Bro, if you're good,
that's what I'm thinking. If you're still cold, do you get it?
Fowler came back and he was fat. We allowed him. His BMI was extra.
God and that. I was like, well, God, what this brother is? That's
Henry came back to Arsenal, scored against Leeds in the FA Cup, and that won him a game. And then, you know what I mean? So,
no, we would have moved on. We would have moved on by then.
The real truth is that man, they don't even think Trent's good enough to be a right back for Liverpool anyway, bro. So I don't know why everyone's getting all out of shape about it, bro. Trent signed the contract today for Liverpool. And then next week, man, are costing Trent again about why you're leaving the space open and why you're going into midfield. I've got to do with another 5 years of it, bro. Yeah, man, just let him do his thing, bro.
All right,
but I don't understand this thing about not wanting him, like not wanting a player back, unless a player like disrespected your club, like El Hadj Diouf, for example. Like if it was like that type of situation, then okay.
Why do you have to go to the extreme?
No, okay, but because I couldn't think of another player who's like.
I just said Coutinho. To be fair, Coutinho did the back thing.
No, but to me, Coutinho did not.
He said his back was hurting than that, bro.
No. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. The only way I'll say Coutinho did, right, in terms of him leaving, he did, bro. Man was here 5 years and won nothing. Do people forget that he was here 5 years and didn't win a single thing? But then some will say, "Oh, but we're on the upward trajectory." Cool. The only thing I didn't respect Coutinho doing, I don't begrudge him for it, but at the time I was like, yeah, that's a bit mad. When he's saying he can't play for us, the man's on the first flight in the Brazil team.
No, okay, so you see with that, yeah. You see with that, I hear that. But what you've got to also understand is Liverpool, especially Klopp, they weren't trying to let man go. So he's in a situation where, bro, you're basically forcing me to stay at this point in time. Why would I want to play for you at this? I don't want to be here no more. I want to go now. And it's at the time, obviously, Barca still had Suarez, Messi, and all these guys. So it made sense, obviously, the deal. But in my head, that's why when the thing was happening, as soon as I saw, he's got a back injury, I said, I know what you're doing, obviously. But so you wanted to just go so badly. The club said, nah, bro, we're not letting you leave. And bear in mind, if we didn't get that fee, I don't think he would have left anyway. I think Liverpool were looking for the maximum that they could get. I don't think they would have really accepted too far off of that kind of thing. So when I looked at it, I was like, bro, you're forcing someone to stay, and then everyone gets mad that he's trying to not play. Brother, you don't want to play anyway. He's trying to leave in. Remember, he tried to leave in the summer.
Rumboys were hurting.
Yes.
Manson down my Rumboys and that. We had thingy after the game and that. Man had Oxen that back in his case. Like, don't ask him questions like that. It's not.
Yeah, fair. Remember that? Was it like Oxen and man?
Coutinho told us made Oxen like a dickhead and that.
They say, don't ask my brethren them kind of questions, bro. It's like, hold on, I'm trying to interview him. Now he's like, nah, don't ask. Let me run through these two super chats and we move on to the next. Why does 99% of the hate comes from?
The Tommy Robinson comment is this blood.
I don't know, bro.
This is
where do you get that stat? I need to know where that stat.
Oh, it's about Salah, isn't it? Though.
It was about Salah, but where's that stat come from?
You know what? Big up Leroy, but these are Uncle Tom, bro, because it's not. It's big up Leroy.
It's not to get yourself a drink.
It's not just blacks, bro. What the hell? Because listen, I said it at the start of the stream. Yeah, Ziyech, Nori. You look at Mahrez, bro. There's Arab players that man rates, bro. Like, it's not hate. Like, you don't need to get this hate thing out of your head. It's really not hate. Look, Turkey. Let's be honest. A lot of the French man are Arab as well. You could class Benzema Arab. Turkey, like, bro.
Zidane.
All the man that Algerian man. Allow
bro,
it.
It's crazy. It's not. I hate that, bro. And you know, the fact it come from one of our own, that hurt Leroy. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Nah, the Trent fans feeling it like one of our own, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't see anything.
That's jokes, man.
Yeah. Big up to Donny LFC. I don't want him to stay. Time to move on. He'll be back in a couple of years in the Prem. He's not got the mentality for Real Madrid. The fans protect him at Liverpool. I don't know if he has a mentality though. He might do. He will learn it, innit? I think it's in the DNA at Real Madrid.
Did you just hear
the Liverpool fans? We do protect him though. To be fair,
brother, we just slaughtered man for missing.
Yeah, but that's us, G. We're not the minority. Majority, bro. We're just the minority talking about it. Majority of the fans protect him.
Okay. I'm not a Madrid fan anyway. But what mentality do you think he doesn't have?
I don't think he doesn't have it. I'm saying I think he does.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the problem he has to deal with is when it goes wrong, to stand up. It's not a club where they'll be like, "Are we allow a couple of bad games?"
No. They are a club because Modric got voted for the worst signing that season when he came in.
But
Modric
he wasn't that bad though. He wasn't.
Modric was shit. Modric was shit.
He wasn't.
Was Modric dead?
Let me take over this one. Ends he was, and you know how Modric was from when Mourinho had to come out and address the fans that you lot bake, chill out, like he will come good. He'll end up playing well. Trust me, he wasn't it first season. Trust me.
Remember, he's just come from Tottenham. Tottenham where they're like a small club, and bearing in mind he came from Dynamo Zagreb and them thing there. So he's only been dealing with small clubs. So when he comes to Real Madrid,
but then
that infested the fans. That infested the fans. They're thinking
maybe
come from Zagreb and Tottenham, a team.
Maybe maybe that triggered them a bit because they're like, "Rah, we didn't really have the expectation for you anyway, but you've come in and did this. You didn't even try." But then I think if Trent goes in with the expectations and then fall below it, I think they'll be a lot harder on him.
I think they'll be fine with him because man talk about like Trent's defending and all that. We already know we're not with, but trust me, he'll be fine, bro. When he starts sending them passings to Vinny and Mbappe, bro, they'll forgive him for a little. You know what I mean? They forgive Vasquez now, blood, and he ain't throwing them kind of passes in, and so.
Do you know what's happening? Do you know why Trent's gonna go from, in my opinion, to a whole nother level at Madrid? Yeah, we've seen in our pomp he had Hendo covering him predominantly, and now you're seeing a Gravenberch and Konate covering him. He's gonna have man like Tchouameni, Camavinga, Rudiger, like these guys that are more athletic than the players.
Stop glazing these man. Stop glazing.
Nah, that's a great team.
I'm not even. No, I'm not even crazy. He's gonna go up that upper level, bro. And if he does it, then bro, that's because he's got the tools around him to go up that other level. 100%.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a bigger problem for Trent if Madrid were doing shit and he went in. Yeah, if they're looking to him as a savior, that will be different because then it's like, yo, you can't have no games off. But it won't be like that. He'll always be there or thereabouts. So he'll be fine.
Hopefully, anyway, like for his sake, for my sake, I'm hoping. Obviously, he goes there, next season, and Real Madrid are trying to win back the title from Barcelona. So hopefully he can try and do his thing.
Okay,
that's a great point, G, and we'll move on the conversation from that point.
Thank you.
The next brother that doesn't get enough criticism.
No, he does.
Man's got the one short leg up like a bad man,
Like if you saw this
Sunday league and that, and the man's got all the gear and no idea, blood. The man with the gloves and the snood and that, and the shit, bro.
But you know what, Savage? You know what, Savage?
The snood is mad.
Do you know what, Savage? Yeah, he's probably looking at it like this. I can do these things in Uruguay because I put on for my country.
Yeah.
Liverpool. He's probably thinking for Uruguay, I do the damn thing. So let me dress how I want.
Nah, do you know what I'd love, right? This is one of the things I'd love to happen here. I want him to go, but I also want us to play against him after, just to see what would happen.
And do you know what?
The hat trick against us.
The vision to have of Nunes is that he's gonna not forget even if he leaves Liverpool, but he's gonna knock England out of a tournament. And I could just picture it, bro. We're gonna get Uruguay and he's gonna rasp one in the top.
Like when Suarez played against us in the that World Cup and
that come off a Gerrard flick off his header, and then he rolled.
Yeah, well, Gerrard back pass, it was cool.
Yeah, the Gerrard head back pass. Bro, I was in the pub defending Gerrard, like, nah, it's not his fault, bro. It's the gel. Use head and shoulders today, blood. Yeah, it was
it was head and shoulders.
Had a little slick back on it, bro.
Yeah.
But what's obviously he looks like he's gone in it. Can we just revisit his career at Liverpool, bro? What was everyone's first thought? And then how was their thought now about him?
Ends, correct me if I'm wrong. Me and you were flying the flag for this guy.
It was, bro. It was.
This was my guy, bro. But for me, it was that Luton game. When I see him miss from that, I said, nah. I said, you look. I said to G, I said to Monts, couple other man, bro, I can't defend this no more. So the last year or so, I said, it is what it is. But bro, what can you say, bro? Like, and I'm not really someone that judges people compilation because you're either really bad or you're really good. There's no you never see a compilation where there's a balance to it. But bro, let's be honest, bro. It's been underwhelming. The money we brought him in for, and what's funny now? Someone said to me the other day, your fans had to bring it down to 60 million. Well, you now have to pay the 85 million because it's target incentive and that whatnot. I think winning the league was in there. He needed to hit a certain amount of goals, which I said, to be fair, I always say with add-ons, if you've got to pay them, you've done something right. So I don't really business with.
Yeah, I forgot ROMZ. Yeah, because it's winning. He was winning the league and winning the Champions League. Bro.
Yeah.
I win the Champions League, but yeah, man, fuck.
But I think we still have to pay that extra 25 now. But the way I see it, bro, we
think they did derail the season, so we don't pay the 25.
No, don't do that. No, bro.
I'm crazy that is, bro.
I'd rather pay that 25.
Nunes is a weird one. Like, you know what it is with Nunes. I like him, innit? Yeah, I mean, the supporting him in terms of the way he plays football, I fell off. You know, man, I was on watch along and I give up a while ago, bro. But what it made me feel better as a man though. Once I accepted what he was, bro.
Yeah.
I wasn't as mad anymore, bro. You get me? So then he started surprising me with rafting balls into that from nowhere. That's crazy.
Sav, do you know what I'll say though? And as much as I don't listen, he's not done well at us, and I just think Premier League in general. But he's gonna cook at the next club, in my opinion. I think he'll go elsewhere and do like you see the numbers we saw at Benfica. I think he's gonna put up 30 plus, and we're gonna be like, bro, did we miss a trick in the sky?
You know what? I'll be calm if he does. I'll actually be calm. I'll be like, you know what? Like we said before, innit? Some players like they just bang at certain clubs. It's just their club. Like they will just always score goals. You know, when they go to these type of football clubs. If he goes back to Benfica and he bags 30 plus again, I'll be like, at least he will now understand this is my level. Like this is my type of league. Like that's good for him. Go win league titles. Go and be like a legend in Portugal. Like that'll be sick, bro. Benfica, one of the biggest clubs in Europe. So it's not like you're playing for some like their team, bro. Like it's calm.
Yeah, I can't help but like him, bro, because he definitely tries, bro. You get me? It's not like he goes hiding. He's a lazy footballer and that, bro. So obviously, while he's at Liverpool, see the problem what some people had is they wanted him to be bad at Liverpool. Once he had shown a few missed open goals and that, they just want him to be bad. I'm like, no, we're still Liverpool fans. I want him to succeed as much as he can at the club, innit? But yeah, man, it's one of those.
Do you know one thing you can't teach, right? And I said this even when I was backing him, and even now I know, look, he's not good enough for the club. We need to sell him. This opinion will still remain consistent. For him to keep getting in gilt-edged positions where he misses these gilt-edged chances, that's a quality within itself. How many strikers do we say, you're not even getting in the box, or you're not even in the right position? He's pretty much 9 times out of 10 in the right position. It's just the finishing touch. So if he goes, like G said, sometimes it's the club you're at, it's the environment. If he goes to another club and because I no doubt he'll get back in position. If he actually can now finish like he did at Benfica, like he does for Uruguay, you've got a good striker in your hands. For me, he's just not done it at us, and the finishes have been unforgivable. What I would say to you, right? It sounds so mad. But you know how apparently that Al Nassr bid and whatnot before they bought Durant, 60-70 million bid, apparently it was true. It's come out to say it was true. I got slaughtered for this, but I said, I'm happy we didn't accept it just because I knew we wouldn't spend it. Would you not still have accepted that money just to keep it lying there? Like, do you not think that's a deal we should have probably accepted? Because we know our club, that would have just been sitting there to now.
Yeah.
Like, we not
I'm with you when it comes to knowing our club. I don't really care either way because I didn't think they'd spend it. Like I said, if you was going to be smart, you would have sold him and just kept Dan's around on it because same impact. He scored 4 goals all season in. So
sell him and get Kvaratskhelia, bro, and then just paid the money.
Yeah. Even that, man.
Kvaratskhelia was in our remit, innit? They were asking for what? 55, 60 million, and his wage. You weren't on that much big wages at Napoli. That's a Liverpool signing, bro. Yeah, man.
That would have done bits, because that would have been like, ambition. All right, pay him whatever, and I don't know.
You would have had Trent at Edwards and whose door banging down the door like Jake's. Give me the contract. This is the ambition I was speaking.
Nunes is just one of them, man. He's an anomaly. I told you, man, bro. That one game against Man City, bro, I seen him through on goal against Ederson, and I've never seen a man chip the ball backwards. Like he chipped it to go over Ederson, and he went behind him. Said, "Yeah, the science is off, blood. The science is the mad thing." And then we watched him in international. He punched the priest in the face and then got the steel chair out like Stone Cold. It was over, bro.
That's still good. Do
you remember how he got his fist up? That's not even a normal way to fight, bro. He got out. It was like it was the 1600s. Put him up. Nobody fights like that, bro. It's a nut job.
Yeah,
bro. I see a lot of the guy. I see TalkSport now confirming Trent, but they're all going with what everyone else has said. In it, from Fabrizio said it. They've gone with
you know what confused me, Savage, as well. It was a cold finish, but it was not the right finish. I was like, you're just tapped. The one at Brentford, bro. 0-0. That is not the right finish. Like, what are you doing? But when he done it, I was like, yeah, this is you know the ones where you try and lob it, and it just goes on the top netting, so it just drops. It drops at the top of the goal. It's like, this is. Then I see it go in and him running off. I was like, bad boy finish, but that was not the right thing.
You're 100% right because there was even what was that game? It was Brentford when he scored the 2 goals not long ago.
Yeah.
Bro, you see when they slow down I didn't do this on stream because I weren't a prick in it, but you see when they slow down the replay of the shots, bruv. These shots are all off the off the cuff and it's going in the. There ain't no way this is how we scored that goal, bro. But listen, man, it's one of those with Nunes. I don't understand the need to hate him personally. I think that's strange behavior, bro. But yeah, he's gonna move on and that. But he's gonna move on with the Prem medal, bro. Man can't talk to him. He's always gonna have that.
Yeah, man, I need to ask you something though. Yeah, you see, I'm deep in it. Yeah, let's go through our 6 forwards. We've already spoke about Diaz. We've already spoke about Nunes. We'll probably go on to Jota. Salah's still up in the air. DIAZ is kind of still up in the air. Bro, are we saying what going into summer? Gakpo is the only definite forward that's staying? We can't have too much change to our forward.
Pretty much, bro.
Pretty much.
That's crazy.
Roms, when have you ever seen a side? Yeah, I said this is why I said when people, and I don't want to take anything away from Liverpool, right? If you go on to win the Premier League, brother, you deserve to win it over a 38-game period. 100%. No one can take that away from you. Name me another side that you've ever seen in your life watching football in any league where you've come out the end of a season of winning a title and said, yeah, I need to get rid of like 8 of these man anyway because they're not good enough. What type of fucking team is that? So you're trying to tell me that we win a league title. Now I'm gonna excuse the 3 out of contract, right? Because it's out of contract. That's a bit different.
Yeah,
you're trying to tell me you've just ran through all those players you just named outside of Salah. We're all sitting in
crazy, bro.
This might go, and then we go to the midfield. You're like, yeah, might not keep this brother. You know, might need to sell this guy. Then we look at the defense. You're like, I don't know about the 2 left backs. Might need to get rid of these guys. What?
The reason why it's strange is because usually if this does happen, it would only happen when there's an aging team and they've just managed to get over the line. It's like, okay, let's move these. You know, like when Man U won the last league title, the 2013 one. It was a shit. Like, I rate it how I rate this season, to be honest. Like, it was kind of media in it, but they won the title, Van Persie and all that. Then they started to like get rid of people in it. They had to because people were aging. Our team, it's only really the ones that people want to move. Like Robbo's at left back is in his 30s now, and then Salah that's out of contract. The rest of them they're young attackers, bro. They're not old.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm like, this is kind of crazy that everybody is so. And obviously, I don't think we're gonna do all of this. By the way, I don't think we're gonna get rid of all the players that everybody wants. Of course not. But the fact that as a fan base, and this is what I go back to general consensus, as a fan base, we literally sit there and we have slated this team throughout the whole season, and we're about to go win the Premier League. I just find that hilarious to think. That just tells me that you're telling everybody without telling everybody.
Yeah.
You don't really rate the team in the way that you keep telling everyone. Because if you rated the team, you wouldn't talk like this. I don't rate the team, so I'll talk like this however. But the way everyone else talks about the team, they talk, yo, we got the best. He's this, bro. These man.
I think it's the same face against rival fans. I think that's what's happening because everyone's in a like online space now, which it wasn't like that 10 years ago. And I think everyone's trying to save face against rival fans, so that's where people start defending their players and acting like they're better than they are and that. Because realistically, I don't need to defend them because we're top of the table, bro. So I'll just tell the truth. This is what it is.
Yeah.
So this is what everyone was saying about. That's all he said.
It's recent.
Yeah, only 8 minutes ago. But he's just saying Real Madrid works a same wording as always, isn't it? Working to close the deal for Trent on a free. Real Madrid must inform Liverpool if/when the deal is done. Nothing happened yet. Spaniard has been monitoring for 2 years. Basically all the stuff that we already knew.
So why doesn't anyone call Ornstein a tap-in merchant?
I know these men get paid to just repeat themselves.
Yeah, literally.
But no, but everyone's like, oh, Fabrizio's a tap. I'm like, but Ornstein has come after everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
I was going to say, just playing devil's advocate, that I think I know you lot's answer, but I'm just going to ask anyway. Do you think Trent could just be using this to get a mad deal from us? To get a bumper deal from Liverpool?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think that, by the way. I'm just asking. I'm just putting the question out there.
Imagine if he is, but it's like, listen, them man, they're saying they're going to give me this, you know. So
he could. Didn't Salah done it a couple seasons ago?
Yeah.
He was going to be a contract. He did the same thing. And I think Henderson did the same thing as well. Brother, if you're not going to pay the man the money they think they're worth, and that, whether it's worth or not, I'm not the financial advisor in it, but then that's what's going to happen. That's normal business, though. That's why when it comes to that kind of thing, I don't hate on FSG or the player, bro. That's business. You both have to look at their best interest is Liverpool Football Club, and their best interest is themselves, bro. And you look at it either way. I don't have to get mad at them for doing that. So,
all right, man. Let's run through the last 2 topics, and then we'll head out, man. Saw this, thought it was interesting. Ben Doak sending him to Bournemouth, and then trying to prize these two away. So Semenyo and Kirkes.
Bournemouth will be idiots if they ever said, "Yeah, let me give you Semenyo." And
No, we'd put money though, GG. We'd put money. It's not like manager saying we're gonna give you him, and you know what I mean. Just take these two.
But he's not even half of any of them. So how much are you putting in to get one of them?
Any of you rate? The any of you
30 mil? Is that what it's saying?
I like Doak.
No. I like Doak. I think Doak is calm, but 30 mil for Doak.
You know what it is, bro? It's thingy and it's Richard Hughes, bro. This is his old club, man. I told you, man. Just slanging players to his brethren, best sports watching.
I think that's why they won't sell to us. That's why.
Maybe because how come we're always linked to Bournemouth players, bro? It's always
no, but that's what I'm saying. That's what we're always linked. And remember, Bournemouth, they don't have him over there anymore.
I got Michael B. Jordan running things on it.
That's like me saying to Enz, yo, Enz, man, like I've got a football team and I want to take a couple of your players. Like, obviously, me and Enz are bare cool. Bro, Enz might not think, bro, listen, you're not here anymore. I've got the ballers over here that you want. Unless you're going to pay premium for these guys. You're not taking these guys. Fuck that shit. Even though we're cool. Me and Enz might be blessed, like, super cool.
Yeah, I'm not making my team weaker, but if you're talking about Liverpool and Bournemouth, then I will say no. But if the man them say, yo, listen, that's Liverpool still, man. I ain't got time for this.
But I think they're gonna make us pay like premium for these. Like, we're not gonna pay the chicken change that everyone thinks that we're gonna. I think they're gonna try and milk us for a lot of dough.
You said we were offered Bendo. I particularly don't really rate Bendo like that from what I've seen. Obviously, he still hasn't had enough of a sample size at Liverpool where it's been loans, injuries, etc. So maybe I'm being a bit hot. But you're saying Bendo and actually you said 30-40 million on top.
No, Kirkes was touted for around 45-50 mil, right?
Yeah.
Throw in Bendok in there and then I don't know, bid something for Semenyo.
The thing with Semenyo, I don't know you lot's opinion on this yet. I'm going to start off by saying this. I think he's a good player. I just think he goes to a top, I'm not even going to include Tottenham, the top 5 team and kind of just suffocates. I feel like he's one of them players that are, I don't want to say a mid-table player because I think he's better than that, but you know the kind of Bournemouth. 7th to 10th place. Yeah, Bournemouth.
We're literally describing Bournemouth. Like.
Yeah, he's the kind of player that would leave Bournemouth and end up at Everton, blood, and we're like, why did you do that? Bro?
Everton will slap 60. You know, Everton.
Everton will.
Yeah, bro, they've done it with Bearman, but bro, they'll pay 60 million for that. But I just feel like he's not a top 5. I think he'll just go for a top 5 team. He'll be like, bro, like you were that at Bournemouth and you're this here, like you just be underwhelmed. That's not to say he's a bad player. I just don't think he's a top 5 player in my opinion.
I'm with you.
Yeah, just one of them ones. But Kirkes, look, Aït-Nouri was I've been wanting Aït-Nouri. He's been my number 1 left back choice for time to replace Robert and that. But I think the more I watch Kirkes, I feel like he's more astute both ways. So I'm all for the Kirkes deal now. Once upon a time I wasn't, but I'm for the Kirkes. I'm hearing him suppose that I got the same agent. They're chatting every day. I actually think that's a signing that is pretty much 90% done. Out of all of the rumors you hear, I think that's the one I think that's the first signing you see this summer. The first incoming. I think you'll see Kirkes.
Yeah, it's not bad. Sure.
And then this one, I saw it Sky Sports as well. They were saying it about us and who was the other team? I'd say us, Chelsea, and someone else.
I heard Bayern Munich were linked with him as well.
Bayern Munich as well.
Yeah.
For Bramthwaite. I don't know, man. I'd love
We ain't getting him, man. We ain't getting him, bro. It's over with.
Nah, I don't know why we keep being linked to him.
Ends been pushing for a few years, but I've been trying to tell Ends this, bro. It's not leaving Everton to come to Liverpool, bro.
Yeah, that's not happening, bro.
Bro, they're going to charge us 9 figures. If we want him, they're going to try and extort us. They're going to try and extort us, bro.
The optics don't look good from Everton.
Let's say put up 100 million or shut up. Just cut. What with their new stadium as well? Yeah, same. In fact, they might even bump that at 130 or we're not speaking. We're only speaking if you offer 130, bro. But yeah, I never understood this, bro. There's a player coming from Everton and Liverpool within even the last 10 years, 20 years, that it just doesn't really happen.
You know Nick Bombi. That's the last player I could think of.
So we can't. So what? We can't try then, lads. We can't just try and
What try to
waste your time?
Yeah, just wasting time, bro. That doesn't make no sense.
It's like you going past the store. You know you ain't got the money for it. You're just window shopping. Yeah, that looks nice, but man can't actually buy that, bro.
You know when you try it on as well, like you actually fully go inside to try it on. Yeah, I'm never gonna buy it. Yeah. Just want to see if it looked good, like
yeah.
I know, man. You man just shut it down. All right.
Do you know what's mad? You look at it like that will actually look good on me. Pause, but like he looks better than us, but we still can't get it. Because bro, come on, bro. He probably wants to play for us.
Yeah, this is cool, right? Don't you think, like?
Yeah.
Another player, man. We were linked to Brentford before he went to Everton as well, and we didn't get him.
He's quality though. I give him that. He is. Do you know who I think is going to land him? And they've been linked to him for summers now. But I know they got Euro in that. But I think he'll end up, when it's all said and done, I think he ends up a United player. I've had this feeling.
I think he wants to go to United as well.
He does, man. What was the price tag last time? 70 mil.
Yeah, 80 mil.
But then they Ineos wanted to adopt that new, we're not getting bumped for players. So they went for other options. And that's when they brought in, I think, Euro for that 10, 50 million less or something like that.
I can definitely see him giving Everton another year in it under Moyes, because Moyes coming halfway through the season and they're doing all right, to be fair. So, and
let's be honest, new stadium as well. That's good for the club. It's going to galvanize everyone. Do you know what I mean? So I agree with you, Sav. I think he's going to stay there another year.
Yeah, I think so. Man.
Probably sign a new deal so they can get more money for him. Yeah, they'll probably do that.
All right, man. Listen, we'll wrap it up there. Criticism or critique doesn't mean hate. We all love him, but for some reason, if you mention his name without glazing him, means you hate him. Rom, hopefully you don't get no more abuse online, bro.
Yeah, Rom, listen, let me know if you need like extra goons and that. You know what I mean? I can send a couple crackheads to protect you.
Do you know what ends though? Chill on the love. Do you get that? I like him as a player, but choice of words, bro.
I have to say, the worst thing about that comment I saw on Twitter about ROMZ, it wasn't I thought it was going to be the person who said it. It was the comment section. The shit had bare likes, bro. I said, "Raw, they all hate him."
Yeah,
get rid of him, bro. Man said, "Yeah, I second this statement." What?
Dude, it's crazy, bro. But do you know what is, Xavier? Obviously, my boy said to me, sometimes you've got to be careful these things because remember, they know my face. I don't. These are all standing.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been fortunate enough to go to quite a few games, but bro, a lot of the man that accustomed me will come up and be like, "Big up your content." I rate that's why I kind of take it with a pinch of salt, bro. But same way, anyone watching this to know that, I mean, I'll be at the parade. Do you get it? So if you want to link up, we can link up. But no, big up Ends, big up Sav, big up G, big up the chat every time, man.
Hey, all I'm saying is I'm not standing next to ROMZ boy at the parade. I'll tell you that for real.
He's with me all day still. Like we're going to the parade together.
I'm gonna act like I don't even know ROMZ. You know when you start saying, "Yo, G," I'm gonna just look straight through you, bro. Like,
right. Imagine man said, "I just look now. I'm looking through him. I don't even know who he is."
I don't even
but
know
that's a great point where you make. You know, no, we don't know what most of these people look like because they don't have pictures in it. It's just
that is a true point. Still,
it's when a big Donny come up to you, be like, "Yeah, so I'm such and such." Oh, okay, say no more, bro. How you doing, my guy? How's things going?
Imagine if I see a 6'5", brother. Have you not seen that Simpson meme when he tries to get out the window?
Shit.
What's the plans for the rest of the man then for today, man? We chilling? What's any content coming out?
Just work, man.
Work, but then I'm gonna do a video. I'll try. It's gonna take me probably all day. Try to find 5 replacements for Trent. But you know when I don't rate any of the right backs that are out there anyway, so I don't know. I have to see who's been
5 replacements for Trent.
Right,
I'll try and find.
Kind of stinky, you know.
Like, could you just everyone here? Yeah, there's 4 of us on here. Name one right back you think we could sign in the summer. Just help me out a little bit. Just one right back.
Bar Frimpong.
Okay.
People in the chat. I don't even see him as a right back like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think he's going to come as a right back, but we'll use him as an example. Like.
Someone that I actually like.
Bro. Realistic choices, by the way, people. I've seen.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anyone I like out there, bro, like that.
I think Aina's the only one. If Nottingham don't get Champions League football.
Aina, okay.
That's a shout.
I like Aina. I think
he's 28, isn't it?
Yeah. I think they allowed for Bradley to then become successful in a more natural way.
It gives Bradley enough time to not have all the pressure.
You know what? Yeah, he again similar to Trent. So it's what we're used to defensively. I've had to watch him more, and I've realized he's poor. But I wouldn't mind a Pedro Porro personally. This a player I've liked. The other way.
Pedro Porro, okay.
My Spurs brethren told me, bro, going forward cold, but he is at fault for a lot of the goals we can see. I'm like, you know, when you're not really watching a club, like how your brethren is obviously supports the club, I'm like, allow it, man. I'm seeing him, he's cold both ways. The more I watch Spurs, he looks sus going the other way. But hey, we've been used to that anyway, according to a lot of our fan base. So yeah, my shout's Pedro Porro still.
Did you just say Gomez, brother? I'm not trying to walk into.
Yeah, I'm with you still. I'm on like using Bradley and getting someone who's a bit more experienced. Why you get thingy from Al Hilal, blood, Cancelo, blood.
Jess Ben's left back now, or can he just?
No, he's a right back, but they use him at left back when they wanted to lock up. When they wanted to lock up Salah, they put him on the left back still.
In that case, I think he's dope. I actually
feel like Enz, you didn't need to say that, but Fairs, all right, cool. If you needed to,
I like to trigger people, but you already know how I am. Bro.
Clearly, because you've triggered me.
Let's get Cole Walker-Peters, blood. Southampton's about to get relegated
again. And the thing is, people. I see.
He was mad upset about that one that you just said, bro.
No. As in, Carl Walker-Peters is the same. I look at him the same way as like Ole Einar, where I'm like, you will be here to allow.
Walker-Peters is good, bro.
He's not said not in the same way. Not in the same level. I mean, like the same way to allow Bradley to then become the guy. Like,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, man. But look how we're struggling to pick really. Like, okay, the right backs we've chosen, they're not dead, but we've not picked one like quality right back. You're like, nah, this brother is the guy you need to go for.
Because there is so much short supply. Other clubs ain't letting their right back go anywhere, and So then I can only think of teams that are getting relegated or teams that seem like they're in false positions. They're the only teams. Apart from that, they ain't no, you know what I mean? It's dead.
We go to Jamrock. Jamrock says to G in it. So G, you might have to run this stream, bro. Try and get the man. The man says, "Fans of the love." This be a panel of Savage, Ends, Roms, and GTV on a panel against Cal, Matt, Drifty, and Donis Ham. I would pay $50 to watch that for 30 minutes.
Why man putting man of colour against each other? What's the against part about?
Big up Jamrock. I said already. I said obviously you guys are in on Copper's chat like all the time, innit? So let me like.
We know one thing: it ain't gonna be based on football quality, like real life football, because that's not a no against or smoke and blood.
I'm
them man with no kneecaps and that. They got the action man articulation in the knees and that stiff legs. They can't be us, blood. But if it's Nah, bro. I seen Drifty with the stiff leg talking about I ain't played football in 20 years, like I didn't see you when you started your channel playing football. Nah, blood, you can't lie to me, blood. I see everything.
What you say, Rums and G and Sam and Ends, bro, cookage.
Yeah, man. But if you can find something, I'll do video. I like them all still. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, Coppish are the guys. So, bro, like, Jamrock, I don't know if Coppish are going live. They probably will say that today. If you see they're gone live, everyone in this chat right now, go and spam their next live show and say to them, yo, you guys versus thing. Well, it doesn't have to be versus, but us 8, I guess, on a panel, and then someone give us a debate or something to talk about, and then you know what I mean, we'll go from there. Right?
And the parameters is we have to stick to that debate. That we can't, and that's where you see, bro. Man can't shift it.
You need a host, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you need a host. Yeah, you need someone to like just
maybe get Jerry to host it, bro. Keep that on.
Get Jerry to host. Yes.
Yeah, great host.
Yeah, he would actually. Yeah, get someone like Jerry to host it. Yeah. So you guys in the chat, man. Look, Enz is asking. Look, smash a like and all of that stuff. Now we're asking you to just go over to.
Make sure you let them know though that I'm not tiered in it. I'm not ranked in that among the tier list of the Little man in this thing. I got 300 subscribers and that. Like, don't. You can't get anything from me, blood. I can't give them anything, bro. My subscribers are already their subscribers, but I can't do anything about it, bro.
It's more on their side.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can try and get it, man. For real, Jamrock. Hey, listen, man. You want to see it? You have to go and make it happen, bro. You have to go and make it happen. But as always, man, them love for the love, man. Yeah, not too sure when we'll be back. But yeah, I'm hoping we can do episode 3 of Who Said What, and for that to drop on Friday. The members always gets it first, so guys, look out for it. And then it should be then live for Friday 6 p.m. once I can get the guys together. But until we see each other again, man, peace.